Hello everyone, nubkeks here, welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video we're talking about the Summon Rush event during this Helicath Fusion. It's a 10 times event. I'm going to be talking about all the champions that are going to be coming up, and as always ranking them based off of how good I think they are for you and for your account, how excited you should be to pull them. Likely there's, you're going to be pulling shards. There's a good chance during this Summon Rush event, right, in order to complete the Helicath Fusion, you need 16 of the rares to fuse up the 4 epics. The 16th rare does come from Summon Rush, so unless you pulled a rare last weekend in the Champion Chase event, or you've pulled one at random from a mystery shard or something, you will need the rare from this event, which is likely to take most likely around about 3 sacred shards worth or about 10 void shards worth. It's it's sort of up in the air. We don't know exactly what the points are yet. We'll see tomorrow. If you want me to pull your shards, by the way, check out the shard pull sign up channel in my Discord, where you can sign up and I'm going to pull the shards. I'm going to be picked from the people that are in there. Let me know how many you want me to pull, what stage of the game you're at, all of that. We'll try to get a nice mix. I'm thinking I'll choose 3 viewers to pull shards for if you want my questionable luck. Anyway, without any further ado, let's dive in. Let's talk about the epics, and there's 4 epics that are going to be boosted: Husk, Armina, Magnar, and Miscreated Monster. So first up, Miscreated Monster. I actually don't have him. He's a HP based champion and he looks absolutely incredible. He is infamous really for this lightning storm move. 3 turn cooldown when booked, AOE attack, 50% chance to stun, and it gives allies a shield for 3 turns equal to 25% of the damage inflicted. This does good solid AOE damage. You're going to build him with a full crit rate to make this shield as good as possible. Stuns and stuff on his A1, ally protection for 3 turns on his A3. He can fear on his passive. Miscreated Monster. I'm sad I never got him. He is an S tier champion. This guy is completely nuts. Completely dominates Arena in that early and mid game. He is so good to add into your account. Great for all sort of dungeon progression, locking enemies down with the stun and shielding your team. This is particularly useful for Spider. He makes Spider dungeon so much easier, stunning lots of the Spiderlings, and if not stunning, he creates a massive shield. Brilliant for Doom Tower progression. Really good against Scarab boss, where you need shields up. He has a 3-turn shield on a 3-turn cooldown. Makes Scarab much easier, and he protects with eye protection. He just does so much. This is an amazing champion. Well worth getting. He's a game changer if you pull him early or mid game. Super, super good. Next up, we have Magnar. I have a guide on Magnar on my channel already. As you guys know, probably, Magnar is pretty much your go-to HP-based nuker. So for Arena, Spirit Affinity, really useful to complement. Most people, obviously, with your starter champion, you're starting out with a Magic Affinity nuker. Bringing in Magnar as a Spirit Affinity nuker is a really great complement. On top of that, he hits extremely hard. His damage scales off HP, so he won't benefit from increased attack, but he will hit really, really hard with just HP built in. So he can go in a tankier go second team. He can go in your main nuking team because he hits so hard. He's just great. I'd actually give Magnar an S. I think Magnar is fantastic. He can be great for Hydra as well as like a champion to fill in your roster, but just a fantastic nuker for pretty much any sort of arena team, slow and tanky or faster, and he's super tanky, so it's difficult to kill him, which is really strong. Next up, we've got Armina. I'd say she's the weakest of these epics, Armina. What does Armina do? She's got AoE decreased defense and can steal some turn meter. She has a turn meter depletion that can stun. Her A1 can stun as well. And then she gets turn meter whenever an enemy is stunned. I'd actually give Armina an A. So I think she's super squishy in terms of her defense. Look at this. 683 defense is crazy bad, but she's got really good HP. Her speed is a bit low for the type of champion she is, but I guess she's getting turn meter here. Look, in terms of a decreased defense champion, she's decent. Where she really shines, I think, is in Doom Tower, particularly Doom Tower hard progression, where you build a team all around crowd control. So you're sticking in like Syl of the Drakes, Vizix, Archmage Helmet. You add her into that sort of team. She brings decreased defense to up all of your damage. Archmage Helmet, Syl are going to be throwing out stuns all the time. She get tons of turn meter. She's going to be depleting turn meter, potentially stunning some more. It all synergizes together really well, and I think she's very, very good for that. She's a great one to throw in there. She's not necessarily a champion, though, that you're going to rush out to build. You'll likely already have a decreased defense champion. I think for general usage, she's not the best one. because she is so squishy. But look, I mean, crowd control, decreased defense, decent damage output, and she's fast because of her passive. She's solid. She's an A. Then finally, we've got Husk for the epics. Husk over here. Really, really good. Where is he? I'm blind. He's undead hordes. That's why I'm blind. He's not in this faction at all. There he is. He's undead. Husk, HP based. So he is very, very like Royal Guard. AoE attack that does damage based on enemy max HP. Fantastic nuker for Hydra. Fantastic nuker for some of the level 20 dungeons where he's the good affinity for it. His A3, not great, pretty poor. But his A1 is actually really good. 40% chance to provoke for 1 turn. So with Husk, you're going to build him with accuracy, right? And he's going to be able to provoke the Head of Decay in Hydra, making him extremely good. Then also this decent chance to do an AoE stun, right? Decent chance for AoE stun. Again, extremely good for just general dungeon progression, faction wars, all the rest. Husk definitely gets an S rating, no doubt. It's kind of that toss-up. Who's better for each Hydra rotation, Husk or Royal Guard? They both bring really useful utility with the Provoke for Head of Decay, or Royal Guard bringing the decreased speed for Decay and Mischief. It sort of depends on which affinity is more useful for that rotation. But he's super good, and he's also kind of like Magnar. He's got crazy base HP, so he's very tanky, right? Does great damage, and he's much tankier than a Royal Guard. So Husk is super good. Next up, we have the 3 legendaries, regular legendaries, that are going to be boosted. Big Un, Astrolon, Fushan. Let's dive in. Big Un first. Ogryn Tribes, Magic Affinity Nuker. He's pretty old school nuker. He's pretty old school. A1 is an AoE if the first hit crits. His A2, 3-turn cooldown AoE, it's got like a, 50% chance to stun, and it's got a 70% chance to put decreased accuracy. His A3 does have a long cooldown, 5 turns. Double hitter AoE, decreases turn meter, and has a 30% chance of placing decreased speed. So his chances to land these things are relatively low, but you're looking at a champion that has AoE attacks on every single move, turn meter depletion, some decreased speed, stun, decreased accuracy, just AoE. I think Big Un is actually really, really solid. I actually give him an A+. I don't think he's S tier. He's not OP. The cooldown on this is long. His damage output is solid, but not crazy. But he's got good, really good HP. He's got great base attack, really strong, and actually really good base speed. He's a fantastic champion. He has accuracy in dungeons aura 90, which is kind of nuts. He can farm Nightmare Campaign. Brilliant. He's going to be really good for Doom Tower, Secret Rooms. There's an Ogryn Tribe Secret Room. He's really good for that. You can build him just for AoE damage. You can put him in a stun set if you want to really pump out CC. Yeah, he's just a great nuker all around. And you can build him fast very easily. So great champion. Old school, but really, really solid actually. I like him a lot. Astrolon, I don't rate Astrolon anywhere near as high as most people seem to. A lot of people love Astrolon. They love him. They think he's absolutely fantastic. I think he's good, but overrated. But he is very good. The big thing with him is really his A3, which is a 4-turn cooldown AoE attack. Hits hard. He's got really good base attack. 4 times attack multiplier on this. Hard-hitting AoE that has, when it's booked up, a 100% chance to stun. 100% chance to stun. So this move is great. Astrolon is definitely an A tier champion. Now the reason I'm not giving him a higher rating than that, which you might go, nubkeks, that's crazy. I think the AoE stun is very useful. You can use that for some spider stuff. You can use it for, like I use them for Nether Spider for a guaranteed AoE stun. It's a great move. That's a really good move. The issue I have with Astrolon is it's the nuker, the accuracy nuker problem, right? It's the accuracy nuker problem, which is if you build him to hit really hard, you're not going to have enough accuracy to land the stun on enemies that count. If you build enough accuracy, his damage is going to suffer. And then it's the resurgent problem as well, which is something I really hope they nerf at some point. It really ruins a lot of champions. I actually don't even have it on Mithrala right now, but resurgent, 50% chance to remove a random debuff when they lose 25% max HP. So this really ruins a lot of champions that you'd like to hit hard but also place crucial debuffs. So it stops you really from building Romantu, for example, with good damage. It kind of messes with you, Carl, placing these freezes. There's tons of champions that get really affected by this, where yeah, you hit them really hard, you do the AoE stun, but then Resurgent procs in Arena and the stun gets removed. And then it's like, I built all that accuracy for nothing. What was the point? So that is a big problem. But look, Astrolon, he can place decreased defense with his A1. His A2 can revive if he kills somebody, which is cool. He's got a good passive. He gets turn meter whenever an ally is hit, which is pretty nice. He's a solid champion. But look, you build him in arena. I feel you build him to nuke and his stun's not going to be very reliable. You build him to stun and he's not going to hit that hard. So I feel like he's kind of overrated. He's kind of nice-ish against Duchess because he removes veils and stuff, but he has to go after she does her stuff, and Duchess teams are usually a bit slower. He's kind of that funky champion. I feel like people think he's better than he is, but look, a guaranteed AoE stun is super useful. Super useful. You can build him with like no damage, and he's still going to be a really good utility champ. Or you can build him with smack hard and sometimes stun, and he's fine. But yeah, anyway, Fushan up next. Let's talk about Fushan. That's enough babbling about this other guy. Fushan really came back into the meta because really of his speed aura. 24% speed in all battles, right? Then he can do extra hits on his A1. He's got AoE here that can stun. Then he's got a 4-hitter at random that can place decreased defense. The reason he is so good, and he's got great base speed, the reason he is so good is with the Mytha, right? I don't know if anyone, the Myth Fu composition, I don't know if anyone in my clan runs it, because mostly these are more old school players that already had Bad Eater teams built. Yeah, very few people running it. I saw one to Mytha here. Okay, nah, it's not quite the comp. But anyway, the Fu Myth comp with Fushan in the lead for the speed aura, and Mytha, I think Seeker is in there as well. Really strong composition to get really good damage in clan boss. And like I said, you need to Mytha, who's a void epic, and you're probably going to need Seeker, but Fushan comes in with the speed aura, with the decreased defense. He's covering a lot of your bases, and a really powerful damage dealer then for clan boss as well, on top of being just a generally good nuker in general. He's putting out good damage, but he's mostly, I think, for that clan boss scenario. So I think I'd give Fushan probably an A-. It depends. If you can use him for that clan boss team, absolutely insane. If you're not using him for that clan boss team, he really falls off quite a bit. 4 hits at random. He's got a good AoE nuke here that hits hard. Force affinity nukers, okay. Again, weak against Duchess. Yeah, I'd say he's probably, for me, he's going to be either, he's S or B. Let's actually put that. That's a more accurate rating. If you use him for your clan boss team, he is S tier with Mytha. If you're not going to use him for that, I'd say he's B tier. Force affinity nukers, it's all right, but it's not amazing for arena. And yeah, you're not going to use him for too much outside of that, I think. Then the final champion we've got is the Void Legendary, and that is Umisia. Umisia is going to be boosted. She is a Skinwalker. Here she is, Void Legendary, and she is absolutely incredible, guys. She has this AoE attack, 100% chance to HP burn for 3 turns on a 3-turn cooldown when booked up. 100% chance to stun on targets at high turn meter. 100% chance to place decreased speed on targets with less than 50% turn meter. Again, putting burn for 3 turns on a 3-turn cooldown as Void Affinity. This is incredible. She is unbelievably good for the Spider dungeon, burning and stunning all in one move, which is exactly what you need to beat Spider. Unbelievably good for Doom Tower hard progression, putting out insane damage with those burns and locking down the enemy waves. So good. Insane for Hydra, right? No matter what Hydra head affinities there are, she's Void, she always hits them. Burn for 3 turns on the 3-turn cooldown, and the decreased speed for Hydra is super good. A1 can decrease defense. I think her A3 is like a hard-hitting single target hit, good for the Spider. She's nuts. She's super good, great base stats. She is definitely an S tier legendary. She's clearly the best. In my opinion, she's by far the best champion, obviously, in this set of pulls. She's so good for so many of those endgame places. She'd even be great in arena as well. If you wanted, because you're probably going to build her reasonably tanky, but with really good accuracy and speed to land this stuff, so she'll translate well into a decent arena champion, like for mid-gamey stuff. Probably not going to be specialist enough when you get late game, but look, Hydra, Doom Tower, Spider, bam, god tier, so good. And the rest like this. Yeah, I think actually, for a Summon Rush event during a fusion, this is one of the best ones. This is pretty much as good as it gets. AoE nukers with stuns effectively is what we're looking at. This is pretty much as good as it gets for Summon Rush during fusion events, which tend to be worse than others because you're going to be pulling anyway. I think we got a really strong selection of epics here. It's highly unlikely you obviously get any of these legendaries. as always, look, I'd recommend, depending on your shard scenario, I would recommend simply pulling as many shards as you need to complete the Helicath fusion and stopping there. That would be my recommendation. I think if you are tracking your mercy timer and you are close to mercy for any of these legendaries, you could pull for them. I personally wouldn't use a mercy timer for these. I think they're all good, but you can do without them. They're replaceable, very much so. And like 10 times isn't the best thing anyway. Umisia, I would pull. If I had my Void Mercy coming up, I would probably pull for Umisia, to be brutally honest. I would probably do that. But look, we got the main thing for me is that all of these epics are extremely good. Early game and late game. They're all really, really good. They all hold, pretty much, they all hold relevance. Miscreated Monster will fall off eventually. So will Armina. But yeah, apart from that, great. Yeah, great summon rush. Guys, let me know what your plans are. Again, if you want me to pull shards, jump into the summon rush thing. Oh, yo, dude, we got people signing up already, guys. Get involved. I'm going to choose people then at probably the end of today, message them, get it set up for tomorrow. Yeah, I'll see you all then. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.